Hey everybody, it's Friday, day 5. What I wanted to do is a question and answer, and I think what I'll do is a question and answer every Friday. Before I begin the Q&A, I would like everybody to appreciate something very quickly. Many of you have been with me for a very long time. You read every newsletter, watch every video, attend every seminar, ask me questions face to face. And so I have to continue to educate you guys. I have to continue to bring new things to the table. I just did a whole 40-day challenge where those videos were public. And if you watched them, many of you are sending me things now, how much right now is coming out about things that I talked in detail about over the course of 40 days, including day 1. Things like zinc, things like vitamin D, things like iron, the relevance of nitric oxide. We could go on and on. It's all up here, by the way. So let me just show you guys, like way up here, you'll see, in days past, we covered mitochondrial health, and, we covered things like ATP and sleep, and we covered things about your innate immune system down here, and hemoglobin and iron and ALT, and what insulin resistance is, and carbs and proteins, and again, ATP, fatty acids, spillover. We talked about Italy and what the deals were there. Up here, day 1, we talked about vitamin C, selenium, zinc, vitamin A, D, E, K1, K2, and the gut, and how your genes and nutrition and gender and all these things matter. And we went into things about body mass index and quercetin and all these things. And we talked about nitric oxide as a vasodilator and how important it is. And when it relates to breathing, how important carbon dioxide also is, that balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide, and how you breathe matters. And we talked about breathing practices and how important the parasympathetic nervous system is. That is your rest and digest system. Of course, Jordan went into other stuff the other day, talking about superoxide and oxidative stress, and that's what we're covering now. And down here, we talked more about cytokine storms and inflammatory markers. Anyway, you get the idea. My point is that we've been talking about stuff for a while, and my goal is to continue to educate. So I know some of you are just coming on board. So I figured what I would do is just take a minute to just give you guys the most important things from 15 years ago. The most important thing, supplement-wise, is that all of you are taking vitamin D. Vitamin D, you're only getting adequate amounts from the sun. Yes, you can get it from mushrooms and certain fish, but in very trace amounts. So it's not just a matter of going out in the sun with your t-shirt on and your pants on. You're not getting enough. It has to do with skin exposure. There's a lot of variables here. So the heavier you are, meaning the more body fat you have, you need more sun. The darker the skin, you need more sun. The older you are, you need more sun. You have certain genetic polymorphisms, which we test in 23andMe tests. You may need more sun. So there are genetic SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphisms, that many people have, and there are more than one, which prevent you from adequately getting enough vitamin D3. That's why there are some people who will supplement with a lot of vitamin D3 and their D3 levels are still not very high. So how much D3 should you take? For the average person, during the fall, winter, and spring, 5,000 IUs with vitamin K2. Many companies now combine both vitamin D3 and vitamin K2 together. Vitamin K2, you're going to get about 120 micrograms with your vitamin D3. Now, you don't have to worry, is it 80? Is it 120? Is it 150 micrograms? Somewhere around there. Why is that important? Well, vitamin D does literally over 5,000 metabolic processes in the body, one whole bulk of which is your immune system. Something else that it does is it frees up calcium in the body. The reason why you're coupling vitamin D with vitamin K2 is because vitamin K2 takes that calcium. Remember, so think about it. Why does this matter? Why does freeing up calcium in the body matters? Well, do you want things to be calcified in your arteries or in your joints? No. So that freed up calcium now needs to get into its correct places, things like teeth and bone, and vitamin K2 helps that happen. The only way that you're getting enough vitamin K2 is if you're eating enough fermented foods and certain cheeses. So most people need more K2 in their diet. The next absolute mandatory supplement is magnesium. You can take anything that ends in an ATE, magnesium citrate, magnesium glycinate, magnesium malate. All of these are fine. Do not take magnesium oxide. Take your magnesium at night because it helps everything relax in the body. Many of you that are constipated, it will help that constipation. 200 to 400 milligrams each night is your recommended dose. Many of you should be on a quality fish oil unless you are on a blood thinner. If you're on a blood thinner, talk to your doctor first. But a good quality fish oil will do most of you benefit, especially for inflammation. Now, that's your mandatories. Now, there are certain people, if we meet, we talk, and I ask you questions about your diet, I look at your 23andMe results, and I go, ooh, you know what? You need these things in your diet because you don't eat this or you don't eat that, or your genetics read this way, and therefore you should supplement with this. That makes sense? Okay. Now, when in the context of COVID-19, we talked about certain supplementation, and I went into a bigger conversation here. I will make it very brief, but the supplements for COVID-19, which you've heard over and over, and I am going to tell you things that you're not going to hear from common, media, but zinc, copper, vitamin C, selenium, and vitamin A. Now, we already talked about zinc and copper. If you're taking zinc, you need to take copper. If you're taking copper, you need to take zinc. So the average person, if we're taking COVID-19 off the table, no more than 15 milligrams of zinc per day is plenty, with about 1 milligram of with about 1 milligram of copper. Now, if you want to be protective for COVID-19, I have my own opinions here. I'm not so sure that higher dose zinc is going to do anything. The reason why is because the reason why zinc is working with the hydroxychloroquine is because it helps usher zinc into the intracellular space, and that zinc in that intracellular space actually does work as an antiviral. By supplementing with more zinc, you're not getting more in the intracellular space. However, it may be working, it may not be working. My point is that if you're going to take extra zinc, don't take more than 50 milligrams. And if you take 50 milligrams of zinc, make sure you're taking it with about 2 milligrams of copper. There are many different forms of zinc. Same thing. Zinc that ends in an ATE for the most part will be fine. I just recommend to maximize the absorption of your zinc, to take it on an empty stomach, and to split the dose. At least, if I were you, I would do morning, afternoon, and night, like 15, 15, and 15. That will maximize your absorption of zinc, again, on an empty stomach. Taking 50 milligrams all at once is not recommended, and some of you, your stomachs will not like you. Vitamin C. So everybody should be taking vitamin C, in my opinion, unless you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Vitamin C is super important. Vitamin C, as some of you know, has been used as an antiviral therapy for COVID-19. How is that being used? Via IV, intravenous vitamin C. You are not going to get enough vitamin C orally. Now, I know some of you are hearing this again for the 12th time, and this is the problem, is that I have an audience, and some of you are hearing things for the first time, and some of you are hearing them for the 70th time. But that's why, for the record, in Fit for Life, I'm not constantly trying to bring new people in. I want to work with the same 80 to 100 people all the time so that we can be on the same page and learn, and I don't have to keep saying things over and over and over again. We can just progress together. That makes sense. But vitamin C orally, you can't take enough. You can do super high dose vitamin C. You'll get what's called bowel intolerance, which means that you're going to start having very loose stool. That means that you're taking too much. That's really the only side effect. The reason why that's happening is because that vitamin C won't cross your gut. It's your body's way of stopping you from getting too much vitamin C into the bloodstream. So much past about, honestly, if you take 500 milligrams 2 or 3 times a day, you're getting plenty. Much more than that, you're just going to pee it out. Selenium, super important for your immune system. The problem with selenium, again, like many of these things, you can get selenium poisoning. Now, Brazilian nuts are very high in selenium. 2 or 3 Brazilian nuts per day is more than enough. Do not eat 12, 15 Brazilian nuts a day, or you will succumb to selenium poisoning. The thing about selenium with other fruits, vegetables, seeds, all that, is that it's very dependent on the soil. It's very weird how much selenium varies in the same food depending on where it's grown. But Brazilian nuts are classically known for high selenium. Do not supplement with selenium. Again, if you just eat 2 or 3 Brazilian nuts a day, you're getting plenty. Vitamin A, also super critical for your immune system. The issue with vitamin A is that along with vitamin D and vitamin E, they are fat-soluble vitamins. So A, D, E, K1, and K2, by the way, are all fat-soluble vitamins. We had a whole conversation about how many people are in a situation where they have real issues absorbing fat-soluble vitamins along with good sources of fat, your omega-3s, your omega-6s, your omega-9s. This is very important to understand because you're not getting the nutrition your body needs because you have a broken down digestive system. It's broken down because your stomach acid sucks, you have issues going on with your gallbladder, and that gallbladder, which secretes bile into the duodenum, its job is to emulsify fats, and we have 750,000 gallbladders removed every year in this country. So what is the condition of the bile in most people, the average person? It's horrible. Similarly, we have pancreatic enzyme issues. And then, of course, we have all these issues that we hear about, IBS, Crohn's disease. In general, the gut of the average person in America sucks. And that's why we have issues absorbing these really valuable fat-soluble vitamins. So that's why supplementing may be important. There are other issues here, okay? Because you can get vitamin A toxicity and you can get vitamin D toxicity. So if your body's having issues absorbing it and you have issues with your liver, you're sort of between a rock and a hard place. So to mitigate this vitamin A issue, I recommend it to people to take beta carotene. Beta carotene will convert. So beta carotene converts to retinol. Some people have genetic polymorphisms there. In fact, I think it's more than half of the population have problems converting beta carotene into its active form retinol, which is vitamin A. But if you take enough beta carotene, which is about 25,000 IUs per day, that's what I take, you won't have problems getting enough vitamin A, and you don't have to worry about the vitamin A toxicity, okay? So again, beta carotene for everybody is just a safer version of vitamin A. Finally, just appreciate that we talked about fats, carbs, and proteins. The big takeaway here is when it comes to we talked about fats, carbs, and proteins. When it comes to carbs, the big takeaway is high fiber, low sugar. When it comes to fats, make sure you vary your fats from good sources. So things like fish, nuts, seeds, extra virgin olive oil. If you guys look at what I eat in a day, you'll notice that I vary my fiber a lot, I vary my fats a lot, and I vary my proteins a lot. When I do eat carbs, they are high fiber carbs. That's the key. And proteins, we did a whole seminar, me and Jordan, on particular amino acids. So proteins are made up of amino acids. There are certain amino acids, which I will talk about later another time. I haven't even talked about my supplement routine yet. But I do a lot of supplements, and I'm not going to try to confuse any of you. Just because I do it doesn't mean that you have to do it, but everything that I do does have a reason, and I am happy to share those reasons. I am very nerdy and with my routine because I take my body seriously. I want it to function well for me. I want to feel good. I want to look good. I want to think clearly. And that's what we should all want. I want to sleep well, right? We want certain things for ourselves, but we have to make the time to do it. Now, hopefully that was a good overview for new people. And I want to answer questions from this past week. So again, why are we doing this? Jordan and I are breaking down these MedCram videos because we want you guys to understand that oxidative stress and mitochondrial dysfunction are at the heart of all disease, almost all disease. You could argue all disease, but this is literally at the heart of it. And the big takeaway here is that 90% of the time, overeating is the issue. Overeating is the issue. So we're backing up that electron transport chain, and it's creating these leaks along these complexes, which are creating oxidative stress. And my feeling, along with Jordan and some of you, we wanted to explain to you exactly what's happening, to appreciate the biology. Now, you may say, well, it's confusing and it's hard to understand. Here's what I want you to know. Everything that I do, so when I wake up in the morning, the breath work, the meditation, you'll see how connected the things that I'm saying in the meditation and the breath work are to appreciating biology. You start to see yourself more and more as a machine of biology. You are a biological machine. And you often don't take the time to think about this very much at all. We're too caught up in our routines and in our day to think about how we interact with the world, how we interact with our body. The fact that you can even step back and objectively view the body in such a way that the body's actually telling you something that you're ignoring all of the time. I mean, you could just stop right now, pause for 1 minute and breathe and recognize, how much anxiety do you feel? How are you breathing right now? What is the sensation in your shoulder, your neck, your lower back? Is there pain? Is there discomfort? Your body is constantly sending you signals, and your ability to get very, very clear on those signals will serve you well, very well. But also understanding how biology is actually working in the body will serve you well, because you'll notice that you are a network of trillions of cells. And these cells, along with your nervous system, is telling your brain something. And if you continue to choose the entrainment of your brain, if you choose to ignore these signals, you will reap the benefit or the detriment of these signals. So again, when we go through these videos, I know it's nerdy, I know it's sciencey, but if you can at least appreciate that there are key takeaways and that this amazing complex of things that are happening in your body should be appreciated, because the body's working very, very hard for you, to keep a balance that you, not just you, but so many people are ignoring. I mean, look at how hard your body's working in order to keep a natural balance. And yet we're going to shovel down that 6th slice of pizza because I think I can. Not a good plan. Somebody asked, why do I meditate in the morning as opposed to at night? Well, you can meditate in the morning and at night, or one or the other. It's whatever works for you. Why do I meditate in the morning? Well, because it works best for me in the morning. I like starting my day off in a very particular way. It gets me focused for the rest of the day. It's a perfect time for me to get very clear in my mind and in my body, because starting your day right, I find, matters very much for me. If you're somebody that has a lot of trouble sleeping, doing even a 5-minute meditation with the red light will be very helpful for you. I assure you of that. So that was a great question. So you can do it either or. Somebody else asked, can you do the red light therapy in the morning and at night? Absolutely. The red light therapy, if you're interested in more research, just text me and I'll send you a bunch of things. There's just not enough time for me to go through all the benefits there, but it is very protective and very beneficial for many parts of your body, including mitochondria. Then there was a question about, and this was a very good question. The question was about exercise and oxidative stress. So you heard me and Jordan talk about the reason why exercise is so important, because it causes oxidative stress and it teaches your body to deal with oxidative stress. This is similar to most foods that are quote unquote healthy. They work via what's called a hormetic response, meaning they're actually causing like micro emergencies in your body that's forcing your body to react to it. That's why in an unhealthy body, so think about this, somebody that's very unhealthy, is a good idea for them to go train really, really, really hard? No, their body is likely going to be in a tremendous amount of pain and they can get hurt very easily. Similarly, somebody that is used to, pancakes and syrup and cookies and ice cream, if they all of a sudden switch their diet to salads and lean meats and things like this, their gut will let them know. It's not going to be happy times. So you have to ease into things, and part of the process here is just making more sensible choices than what you're doing now. But when it comes to oxidative stress and exercise, yes, you're teaching your body to deal with it. So the question was, well, what about walking? Or do you need to do a hard workout? Well, it depends on the person. So somebody who doesn't move very much, if they go out for a 15-minute walk, that is tantamount to me doing a very hard workout, right? Now, for somebody like me, am I building my oxidative stress by going out for a 15-minute walk? Not necessarily. What I am doing is I am taking away the backup of those trains in that electron transport chain, right? So by me burning those extra calories, I am taking away the stress of that backup in that electron transport chain, right? Because I am using energy. I'm doing a lot of other things as well with the benefit of walking. I mean, we can go on and on with the benefits of walking, but in the context of oxidative stress, that's the benefit that we're getting there. Now, I'm already over 20 minutes, so I'm going to stop today, but I hope you guys found the video informative. Please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And Jordan and I will be putting out another video soon. Have a great day, everybody.